So for now, though, it's Port Alexander. It is soO versus Classic, and it's a best of 3 in the first round of action today. So kicking this off, getting this ready to go, and let's jump into this PvZ to see what's going to happen. And as we do have, to the bottom right-hand side, our blue Protoss player. This, my friends, is Classic. And to the top left, our red Zerg, we have got soO. And after my FPS was so good yesterday, my FPS is going to die again today. That's so weird. I wonder if I can fix that. Maybe not right now, but at another point. Anyways, like I was saying, soO's been having a great time. We've seen him in multiple online tournaments, and he's actually been kind of doing very well. He actually won an online tournament for $2,500 at Master Course Season before. I just casted the last couple of replays because I couldn't cast it live last night. So I actually just saw soO being really awesome against Protoss. Now, he was actually doing a lot of very aggressive sort of Mutalisk styles where he was very reliant on dealing damage and kind of keeping control of the game. He hit a couple of like very aggressive Roach Hydra attacks. It definitely wasn't let's go in towards Hive Tech, let you build up a big army sort of soO. It was I'm gonna kill you soO, and I think that's the best sort of soO. I have to say as well, if he goes into mutas in this series, I'm extremely excited because the muta play yesterday that I saw was absolutely pristine. So really looking forward to that. As Classic's also been just a little bit hidden away. Since we saw him in BlizzCon, I don't think he's played an official match. I mean, maybe he played in a couple tournaments here and there. Let me actually go and check that over on the Aligulac. Because Classic really is one of these players that doesn't play a lot of online stuff, but when he does play things, he plays very well in them. And that's just because he doesn't play a lot of online stuff because usually he's preparing for big tournaments. But it seems as though he probably took a bit of a break in the last little while, last couple of months or so. And he didn't play in any of the events that I run. I tried to ask him if he wanted to play in anything, but he didn't. So yeah, since BlizzCon, he played in WSG qualifiers, which makes sense, of course. Classic finished top 3 in WSG last year. Sorry, top 3, top 4. He lost to Serral in the 3rd place matchup. So, played in the WSG qualifiers, but other than that, it looks like he's been having a bit of a break from competition. I didn't play in any of the team leagues or anything like that either. So, yeah, definitely a bit of a funky one. Let's actually jump into the picture-in-picture, because right now Dark has just broken through the natural expansion of Hero with some Roaches and Ravagers. Ling's streaming in as well. There's an Immortal and a Prism, though, and I feel like with an Immortal and a Prism there is a dream. And maybe Hero can make this happen. So there's Lings that are going to be a bit of a problem, I guess, but I mean, getting rid of the Ravagers is kind of nice, too. So that game is going on with a little bit of interest at the moment, and it looks as though Hero is going to survive the attack of Dark, as both of these players have like 18 workers. So that game is a little bit crazy and is going into some very funny places. And again, we'll give you some updates further on that when we have other big fights happening or other updates for you in general. For now, though, soO vs Classic is setting up very standard for the PvZ. We see the Phoenix on the way out to begin with here from Classic, starts to Chrono Boost that. So gets that going as we see this Overlord just hanging out here. That'll be the Phoenix's first target. And we'll at least see one Oracle following up from this as well. Unless we see, straight in towards Phoenix play, which is a possibility. Now, we'll see if he goes 1 or 2 Oracles. The number of Oracles he builds kind of dictates, well, how fast are you going to tech otherwise, basically. As this Overlord from soO, going to be moving down the right side over through into the natural. Phoenix able to pick that up. So Overlord getting taken down there. And as we are going to be seeing that Warp Gate about to finish up here from Classic as well. So Warp Gate going to be finishing in a couple moments time. Again, there's those assimilators just finishing up, and Workers going to be jumping into the gases. Another gateway at the front, walling things off. 10 drones on the way out. And we do see this Overlord, these Overlords from soO, these drones coming in as well. Spore Crawler coming in on the 3rd base, as we do see the Oracle and the Phoenix from Classic running around the left-hand side, and just going to be seeing what they can do. Going to see the Oracle going to pick up a drone, as we do actually have the Queen going to be taking a little bit of damage there, and again just going to be seeing the Roach on the left from C. Now this is a very standard setup for him, and he's already preparing against potential Archon drops and so on. It's a very safe way to go. We're going to see a robot facility. if anything, it's going to be Archon drops then. Twilight Council has to come down soon, of course, to start moving towards the Templar Archives. And, well, still seeing this double Oracle Phoenix squad maybe ready to get something done as well. So, we'll be watching out for this, as they are getting ready to dive by in towards that third base, perhaps. And yeah, just going to be seeing a couple of drones getting picked off. Oracles, 3 of them now, so there's actually a lot of Oracles here, and really looking to keep the pressure going. Obviously a lot of map controllers this as well, with the Revelations available. As you see, the Twilight Council on the Forge on the way up, a couple of extra gateways coming down as well. And we are going to be seeing the creep spread pushing out through the top side here from soO, as the Overseer coming out in towards the center of the map. So an Overseer out in towards the middle. We're going to be seeing that Forge is about to finish up as well for the Classic. And as these Oracles are going to dive onto the Queen here, going to be able to pick up a kill, getting a couple of drones as well. And again, just going to be seeing those couple of Queens actually coming through. Kills the 4th Oracle. I'm not sure why there's 4 Oracles still. 4 is a very extreme number. He loses another one here as he goes for just a couple more drones, and there wasn't really enough drones to justify the losses, I feel, but, well, I mean, you still have 2 Oracles up, right? So I guess that's nice. I guess overall resources lost is a little bit Protoss favored. He killed the Queen in this as well, so not that bad. No, I don't think it was a bad thing. I just feel like it was definitely a little bit interesting, as we do have the Spire on the way down now from soO. And getting this ready to go. Again, Phoenix and a couple of Oracles just hanging out on the top side. As we have the Robo Facility and Templar Archives currently coming up here as well from Classic. So getting all of that ready, as we see a few units going to move in towards the third base. And just looking to be set up defensively over here. That Spire just about to complete here from soO, as we see the +1 missile attack is coming up to being about halfway done. Some extra Overlords continuing to come on out, as we see extra gates being thrown down as well. Now some more Zealots warping in from Classic. And we do see those Oracles again just hiding out in the back of this mineral line with this Phoenix coming down the left side. The Spire from soO is about to finish up, and that is going to be the Mutalisk play then. And you know, I'm kind of completely for this. The Phoenix will see it though, so immediately can go in towards extra Phoenix here. And he tries to try to boost one out, but turns out he's supply blocked to Classic. He needs to sort that out. He actually just gets a pylon up somewhere, so he will be able to start building this. There's a couple of probes going down as Roaches run by towards this mineral line. Oh man, so probes going down just at the point where he needs to start preparing for Mutalisks. This is really painful because, I mean, that's economy which is already going to be hurting. And it also keeps this army at home, cleaning this up rather than going across the map to counter just as the Mutas come out. So it's going to find the, stop the army from taking advantage of what is usually a very powerful push across. Really good play by soO here. I mean, exactly what you wanted. This is not best of 5, sorry. This is best of 3. I've just realized I said best of 5 in the overlay. This is best of 3 in the first round of the qualifier. I was going to be seeing these meters flying in and just getting a couple of probes. So again, able to pick up some damage here. 21 workers killed. And those Mutas are having a hell of a time at the moment. So, Mutas are having a pretty good time. Going to come back around into the center. And you do see the +1 flyer attack upgrade from soO is going to be coming up in a moment. So again, that +1 flyer attack, and he's continuing to make Mutalisks. Now, this is what he did yesterday against Parting. Might even have been on this map. And his micro with these Mutas was fantastic. He's almost just like, he dives in for a shot, he gets a pylon, and he knows those Phoenix can't commit in properly because he, then he just dives on the Phoenix. He just works through the pylons. I love this from Classic. He actually sets up shield batteries, a cannon, extra pylons as well to make sure that nothing's going to get unpowered here. As across the map, we do see 2 Oracles coming in. And, wow, both of them go down. That second one really was on the verge of making it out of there. So both the Oracles going down. I mean, the Oracle's not going to do much against the Mutas. The best they could do was to Revelate them. And with Revelation down, you can kind of keep track of where the Mutas are a little bit better. Maybe position your Phoenix quite nicely. But that's about all. You see the Mutas coming down to the bottom right-hand side. And just going to be seeing them coming in. You're going to try and pick away at the pylon. So pylon goes down. The Phoenix is still poking and prodding here at the moment. And this Phoenix still just, again, poking onto those Mutas. Balin's about to finish up here from soon, a moment or so, in Groove Spines coming up on the Hydralisk Den. As you do have that Forge continue to take some shots. The Mutas still just staying away. Obviously really wants to stay away from the Archon. That really stops the Mutas from diving any further in. And soO is transitioning out of these mutalisks now. Hydra's on the way up as we see a fleet beacon and a second Stargate being added. Obviously, as you continue to add mutas here, Classic says, well, you know what, maybe time to really seriously go into more Phoenix. Second Stargate obviously doubles that production up, and the Annual Pulse Crystals makes the Phoenix, which he has. If he has so many, he may as well have the range. It actually helps so much for helping to push those mutas back, because you can attack them from further away. The mutas can't dive on you as easily, which is obviously a pretty big deal. He's turning back around, starting to pick up a Phoenix there. We see the +1 melee upgrade coming through from soO, is again going straight in towards Lingbane Hydra. Missing the +2, or having the +2 melee so late, will be painful for Bane run buys. +2 melee is that point at which the Banelings usually blow up the probes. And so having the later upgrade here, because he's got the mutas, definitely means his kind of run buy potential is going to be down a bit. But, well, we'll see if that matters, of course. Because, well, overall here, I mean, you look at Classic's army and it's good, but it's definitely missing, let's say, a few Archons or so on. He's definitely put a lot of gas into these Phoenix, and so the mutas have obviously kind of caused something to happen as well. And the Phoenix are not going to be... The Phoenix is kind of this weird set of units. James Brown goes back in and does actually pick up a couple of kills here. These Phoenix continue to take some damage. Mutas for soO are back down to the bottom side as this Archon will come chasing. soO turns around again, but again, you have to be really careful, especially if there's an Archon underneath. And it looks like soO will be out of there. But yeah, obviously, forcing the Phoenix with the mutas, I mean, Phoenix can be okay in fights, but they can also die very quickly if there's the correct amount of Hydralisks. So, definitely something which is going to be very hit or miss when it comes to the engagement and how they're going to be able to help out. I mean, if soO goes into something like Lurkers, you can imagine those Hydras becoming very useful because you morph them into Lurkers. Those Phoenix being very useful because as the Hydras morph into Lurkers, the Phoenix come through and they're able to lift up a whole bunch of stuff. You see Zealots, Immortals, and Archons coming down through the bottom of the map. A couple of assimilators getting picked off here. Is going to be seeing this cannon is going to be taken down, and Phoenix are just going to commit on top of the mutalisks now. So the mutas are just going to sort of give themselves up to rebuild other army units. Oh, well, I'll tell you what, this army of Classic's going to get a little bit split up here, I feel. There's Archon coming in from the backside's getting picked off as well. Bane's rolling through and finding pretty much every single Zealot. There's just so many Banelings pushing in here. I mean, these Immortals, I mean, units to the left side are completely stranded. I mean, what went wrong here from Classic? There was just workers that went to, Zealots that went up here right away, and so they were not part of the fight at all. Obviously, the Phoenix were out of position, so they weren't really able to help out. And I mean, everything else just got dove on as that's a dead Prism 2. soO just crushes this army in the bottom left side. I know a few of you guys are like, that Prism survived, by the way. I know a few of you guys are like, oh, we'd rather watch, you know, rather than the first few minutes of soO versus Classic, we'd rather watch a more Dark Hero. But then we have to leave Dark Hero at some point to come back to soO Classic, and it just makes more sense if we do it like this, because it's just the way that works for me. I know it may not make full sense to you guys, but it works best for me like this. We really just prefer to use the second screen for highlights between games and to fill some downtime, etc. It's what I found works best after experimenting with it for over a year now, so... Anyways, to the top left-hand side, we have got that blue Zerg player. This is soO. Up against the red Protoss to the bottom right-hand side, Classic. Now, Classic is going to Cannon Rush behind the mineral line here, so this is something I actually saw soO die to against Parting just last night. The gate and the forge opening means you wall off here with the pylons and get a cannon up, and then you can obviously be very, very annoying from there. Futuron's going to start working their way through that pylon, and soO going to be in a little bit of crisis management mode at the moment. Semi-seen cannon coming up. The gateway will then wall it off so you can cancel those two pylons and get the probe out. And this cannon is obviously going to be very safe. We'll see if he wants to actually let the gateway finish. Perhaps not. Then he would be on 2 gates. Cybercore comes up as well. I mean, he might be wanting to go to 2 gates and pressure. I'm trying to think what Parting did. I think if you take this position here, what you can do is you can work your way up into the main base on Parasite. And if you start cannoning up here, you've got this kind of ledge which doesn't have a creep spread on it, so you can get cannons and shield batteries here. And then units out of this gateway can come up, and they can actually continue to pressure against spine crawlers, etc., while being healed by shield batteries. Cannon Logan picking its way through the natural hatchery here as soO straight into a Rotron, so straight into Rotors to deal with this. Has 2 spine crawlers. More cannons coming up on the high ground, but the spines might be able to come forwards and actually pick that those couple of cannons off, if I'm going to be honest. Queen already going to find itself a few shots off on the probe there. And again, wants to really, though, focus these cannons, I think. The probes will try and deal some damage to that. Second spine will just come forwards very quickly. And we'll start poking those cannons right away. I mean, killing the cannons here is going to be absolutely insanely important. It's going to be a really, really huge thing. On the below ground, Broodling's on the way out. We now have triple cannon up, but a couple of roaches as well going to come forwards with this. Going to fight against that Stalker. Stalker actually takes quite a lot of shots from these spines. Other cannons still taking damage as well. Now shield battery's on the way up. Stalker goes down though. Probe goes down, which means the shield batteries on the high ground don't come up. And the double spine crawler from soO. Man, he is going to be saying thank you to Parton later for giving him some practice against this, because when he played against Parton last night, he only used a single spine crawler. Now with the double spine crawler, what he was able to do, he's actually been able to shut those cannons on the high ground down very effectively. And with the spines about to finish here, they are going to kill off that Stalker again. Cannons going down. This has been an absolute disaster here from our Protoss player, and Classic is going to be in a very, very difficult position to play himself out of now. So he's going to get into a really difficult spot, as we're going to see those spines continue to poke their way through the gateways. This gateway's still taking some damage. The hatchery coming down on the natural, and roaches of soO going to start heading down to the bottom right. Robot facility about to finish up here from Classic as well. And I mean, this is just a one-base Classic right now. Obviously, soO's just started to expand himself, but I mean, Classic, do we want to look at the resources lost? Let's do that. I mean, look at the units lost. We're going to have 2 Lings and a hatchery. Lost to 2 probes, 2 Stalkers, 2 pylons, 5 cannons, and a gateway. 400 minerals to 1550, 100. It's a lot of investment here from Classic that has really gone nowhere. And now he's got roaches on the other side of the map. Well, obviously, those morphing into Ravagers can actually deal some real damage here as well. Sentry coming out, so you'll have a force field available to help him out. There's a couple of corrosive valves coming down. Just going to be seeing the little bit of an attack coming through again. Gateway taking some damage. We still have 2 Stalkers and a Sentry. Sorry, it's an Immortal. Does anyone else think we should have to turn unit skins off? It's an Immortal coming down the ramp, and soO will back away from the Immortal. I mean, just helping to deal some damage. He's going to turn and actually pops the barrier on it. I mean, he doesn't want to turn and jump on it, right? With the Prism here, it doesn't look pretty at all. I mean, as Classic adds on 2 more gates, this Prism seems to be a pretty all-in sort of commitment. Because he doesn't really have anything behind this, although the Prism right now is picking up a lot of kills. I mean, these Roaches and Ravagers not really expecting this, and they are going down quick. Now you see Roaches on the way up, Link speed about to finish, and soO has stopped at 34 workers, so he's got himself into a worker lead, and now he's going to be done. I love the Ravager running off to the left, by the way. It means that the Immortal and the Prism are going to take longer to reach the Zerg base. If the Ravager continued to run home, the Immortal would have continued to chase it up the map. By running off to the left side, obviously the Immortal is chasing it in the wrong direction to where it actually wants to end up. So that's a big deal. I mean, 2 spines at the front, they're not super healthy spines, let's not lie. But there is Lings and Ravagers still here for defense as well. soO a little bit supply block though, because an Overlord just went down. That supply block really hurts. 22 to 22 army supply. Queen spines, well, I mean, the first spine core is going to go down in like an instant. He pulls that a bit further back. Not a bad decision. He's going to see the Immortals barrier pop by that spine crawler again. Lings are going to jump on this. Queen start to target the Warp Prism here. As we already see, 1 Stalker going down, a 2nd Stalker going down. Force Field comes into play. The other sentries are a little bit far away still. As, oh no, I mean, everything's just starting to drop now. Immortal Micro will be good, but the Corrosive Bile even landing on the Prism. I mean, all the Zealots are cleaned out. It's going to be 2 Immortals versus the world, but I mean, obviously 2 Immortals are pretty good, but there's a lot more units on the way out from soO, and now there's no buffer really for those Immortals. There's a couple of Force Fields, and that's about it. With the Prism, at least they're highly mobile, and he's going to be able to jump those in towards the main base. So starting to pull these in towards the main here. Queen's still getting so much damage done to that Prism, though. If you lose that Warp Prism, you're in so much trouble as Classic, because then the Immortals can't move around, and of course if the Immortals are in it when it dies, even more of a disaster. Spire gets started here from soO, so he's going to opt for the Mutalisks after this. Is Classic still on 1 base? I mean, the Mutas are an interesting choice. I feel like they're a little risky at times. These Immortals are coming back in towards the main, and soO was momentarily out of position because he was moving down across the map. Instead, he just sends a single Zerg in each direction, trying to get information on timings of bases. Again, as that Prism pushed away, cannot stick around for long at all. Without anything kind of beyond the shields, that Prism is super vulnerable. Spire just about halfway done here from soO. More Lings and a couple of Roaches coming up. And this army of soO just going to be coming around. We see a few more sentries warping in, a Zealot as well. And here we go with soO, Classic. Ready to press forward, so you're going to have a couple force fields there. Nicely placed to deal with Ravagers already. Ling's going to keep streaming in, and already Sentry's taking quite a bit of damage. Immortals in some trouble as well, as we're going to be seeing all of this just pressing forwards here. Zealots keep on going down. You're going to see the Sentry drops. Again, it's only the Immortals left over. I mean, keeping the Immortals alive is essential. These are the real power units, right? They're what, they are what's going to carry you through to a win. The issue is, I mean, building Immortals and all is great. It's just you still need to actually at some point be able to kill everything. And with Lings on the map, etc., Immortals on their own aren't going to do the job. One Prism comes around towards the top side. Mirrors on the way actually makes a bit more sense to me now. I thought about it a bit because I'd say it was risky. Maybe it is when you're teching up. But obviously, soO knew he was safe enough. And even just a few meters here will jump on that Prism and shut that down. And I think instantly Classic here is going to realize the trouble that he is in to the point where he even types out GG. soO takes a